Alright, hello everyone. Keith here, and I'm back with part 2 of this Constitution of the State of Washington. We also do consultations. We have a link to the PayPal in the description below along with this document. I'm not going to read the whole thing, just a little part snippets of it because it's a really long document. So if you guys want to read it, I'll leave the link down in the description below. But anyways, let's get right into it. Amendment 66. Rates for transportation. The legislature may pass laws establishing reasonable rates of charges for the transportation of passengers and freight, to correct abuses and prevent discrimination and extortion in the rates of freight and passenger tariffs on the different railroads and other common carriers in the state, and shall enforce such laws by adequate penalties. A Railroad and Transportation Commission may be established, and its powers and duties fully defined by law. 1977 House Joint Resolution. Amendment 67. Section 14. Prohibition against combinations by carriers. Amendment 68. Section 12. Sessions when duration. Regular sessions. A regular session of the legislature shall be convened each year. Regular sessions shall convene on such day at such time as the legislature shall determine by statute. During each odd-numbered year, the regular session shall not be more than 105 consecutive days. During each even-numbered year, the regular session shall not be more than 60 consecutive days. Special legislative sessions may be convened for a period of not more than 30 consecutive days by proclamation of the governor pursuant to Article 3, Section 7 of this Constitution. You guys can go back and read that. Special legislative sessions may also be convened for a period of not more than 30 consecutive days by resolution of the legislature upon affirmative vote in each house of 2/3 of the members elected for appointed thereof, which vote may be taken and resolution excluded either while the legislature is in session or during any interim between sessions in accordance with such procedures as the legislature may provide by law or resolution. The resolution conveying the legislature also shall specify a purpose or purposes for the convening of a special session, and any special session convened by the resolution shall consider only measures germane to the purpose or purposes expressed in the resolution, unless by resolution adopted during the session upon the affirmative vote in each house of 2/3 of members elected or appointed thereof. An additional purpose or purposes are expressed. The specification of purpose by the governor pursuant to Article 3, Section 7 of this Constitution shall be considered by the legislature but should not be mandatory. Committees of the legislature, standing and special committees of the legislature shall meet and conduct official businesses pursuant to such rules as the legislature may adopt. 1979 Substitute Senate Joint Resolution. Approved Number 6, 1979. Amendment 69. In limitation on members holding office in the state. No member of the legislature during the term for which he is elected shall be appointed or elected to any civil office in the state, which shall have been created during the term for which he was elected. Any member of the legislature who was appointed or elected to any civil office in the state, the emoluments of which have been increased during the legislative term of office shall be compensated for the initial term of the civil office at the level designated prior to the increase in emoluments. 1979 Senate Joint Resolution. Approved Number 6, 1979. Amendment 70. Residential energy conservation. Notwithstanding the provisions of Section 7 of this article, until January 1st, 1990, any county, city, town, quasi municipal corporation or political subdivision of the state which is engaged in the sale of or distribution of energy may, as authorized by legislature, use public monies or credit derived from operating revenues from the sale of energy to assist the owners of residential structures in financing the acquisition and installation of materials and equipment for the conservation of more efficient use of energy in such structures, except in providing Section 7 of this article. An appropriate charge shall be made for such extension of public monies or credit, and the same shall be a lien against the residential structure benefited, except as to contracts entered in prior thereof. This amendment to the state of this Constitution shall be null and void as of January 1st, 1990, and shall have no further force or effect after the date. Amendment 71. Judicial Qualifications Commission. Removal, senior, suspension, or retirement of judges or justices. There shall be a Judicial Qualifications Commission consisting of a judge selected by and from the Court of Appeals judges, a judge selected by and from the Superior Court judges, a judge selected by and from the District Court judges, 2 persons admitted to the practice of law in the state selected by the State Bar Association, and 2 persons who are not attorneys appointed by the Governor and confirmed by the Senate. The Supreme Court may censure, suspend, or remove a judge or justice for violating a rule of judicial conduct, and may retire a judge or justice for disability which is permanent or is likely to become permanent and which seriously interferes with the performance of judicial duties. The office of a judge or justice retired or moved from the Supreme Court becomes vacant, and that person is ineligible for judicial office until ineligibility is reinstated by the Supreme Court. The salary of a removed judge or justice shall cease. The Supreme Court shall specify the effect upon salary when disciplinary action or other than removal is taken. The Supreme Court may not discipline or retire a judge or justice until the Judicial Qualifications Commission recommends, after notice and hearing, that action be taken, and the Supreme Court conducts a hearing, after notice, to review Commission proceedings and findings against a judge or a justice. The legislature shall provide commissioners terms of office and compensation. The Commission shall establish rules of procedure and Commission proceedings, including the due process and confidentiality of proceedings. 1980 Substitute House Joint Resolution, approved November 4th, 1980. Okay, we're going to Amendment 80. Amendment 80. Exchange of judge pro tempore. The judge of any superior court may hold a superior court in any county at the request of the judge of the superior court thereof, and upon the request of the governor it shall be his duty to do so. A case in the superior court may be tried by a judge pro tempore who must be a member of the bar, agreed upon in writing by the parties litigant or their attorneys of record, approved by the court, and sworn to try the case. However, if a previously elected judge of the superior court retires, leaving a pending case in which the judge has made discretionary rulings, the judge is entitled to hear the pending case as a judge pro tempore without any written agreement. Amendment 81. Section 1. Taxation. The power of taxation shall never be suspended, surrendered, or contracted away. All taxes shall be uniform upon the same class of property within the territorial limits of the authority levying the tax, and shall be levied and collected for public purposes only. The word property, as used herein, shall mean and include everything, whether tangible or intangible, subject to ownership. All real estate shall constitute one class, provided that the legislature may tax mines and mineral resources on and lands devoted to reforestation by either a yield tax or an ad valorem tax at such rate as it may fix, or by both such property as the legislature may by general laws provide shall be exempt from taxation. Property of the United States and of the state, countries, school districts, and other municipal corporations and credits secured by property actually taxed in the state, not exceeding in value the value of such property, shall be exempt from taxation. The legislature shall have power by appropriate legislation to exempt the personal property to the amount of $3,000 for each head of family liable to assessment and taxation of the provisions of laws of the state of which the individual is of this actual bona fide owner. House Joint Resolution approved November 8th, 1988. Alright guys, I'm going to end it off here. I'll see you guys next video. Have a nice day. Goodbye.